All right, welcome back. It is the night before the NHL season starts. Like literally tomorrow it'll begin. Last time we were here, we did some stuff. We did a tier list. I don't know why I can't talk right now. We did a tier list. So today I'm going to be trying to predict the playoffs, which is going to be definitely a different beast. This one should hopefully be a lot shorter than the last one, but it's just be a fun little thing and see if we can predict our Stanley Cup winner before the season starts, and then we can come back here, and when I'm right, you guys can all be like, "Oh wow, he knew everything." Just kidding, because I'm gonna get everything wrong. All right, first thing we have to do is predict who's actually gonna make the playoffs. So we're gonna do the West on this side here and the East on this side here. So let's start. We'll start with the Central Division. I guess wild cards exist too, but I'm predicting that personally, I feel as if the Stars are gonna finish first in that with that first seed, and then I think the Jets are gonna barely squeak in, so they'll probably be against them. I'll try to make this like accurate to where I think the seating's gonna be, but like this video is more just for fun, so if that doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Uh, we also think that Colorado is of course gonna make the playoffs, and probably their opponent will be Minnesota, as I think those two are gonna finish 2 and 3 in the Central. Next, we have the Pacific, where I think the Oilers are going to finish first. So I guess we'll do that all the way down here, actually. And last in that division is probably going to be, I'm saying that Calgary will sneak into the playoffs as well, but they probably will only sneak in. So we'll have another Battle of Alberta in the playoffs. That'll be fun. And then, of course, it'll probably be a Vegas and LA. So there we go with all of our 8 teams here in the West. Now let's go to the East. Probably finishing first in the Atlantic, we'll do here, is going to be Toronto. I don't quite know who I'm exactly predicting to finish. But you know who will probably sneak in? I think I'm just doing this because I want things to finish this way because it'll be cool. But like, honestly, I do believe it too. I think Ottawa's going to make playoffs, but probably only barely. So let's say we get a Battle of Ontario in the first round. That would definitely be fun. In those next 2 slots, I don't think Boston and Tampa are actually going to fall out. So they'll unfortunately both be here. Unfortunately, because I don't like them, so they'll probably play each other in those 2 and 3 spots. Um, but I could see something like this happening, maybe like that, you know what I mean? But for now, we're gonna say Battle of Ontario, first round, because that's more fun. Oh, maybe Boston will finish lower Tampa. Should we mix it up a bit? How about something like this? A rematch of that, and then the Bruins have disappeared. Okay, where did they go? Hold on. Oh man, I love how I just found this. I just tried. Oh no, the whole thing broke. Let me fix this. Okay, we're back. So we're actually gonna say this time is that because of Vasilevsky being out for so long, Tampa ends up finishing with the last seed, and Ottawa and Boston are the 2 and 3 seeds, which I don't know if I feel super confident about, but we've got to put some hot takes in here somewhere. So honestly, could happen. Finally, we are gonna move on to the Metropolitan, or we could say that another team from the Atlantic gets in, but I'm not quite sure what I'm going to say about that yet. But for sure, I think the Devils are going to be that first seed, and I think Carolina is going to make it. Now, the problem is, I don't know whether or not which of these two I think are going to be the first seed, but I'm going to stick with the Devils for now. So we're going to say that the Rangers are going to be the ones who end up playing the Hurricanes. And then who are we going to say makes it in on that last spot? Honestly, could be Pittsburgh. Or it could be Buffalo. And there's still Florida here too. No, it's probably Florida. Of those three. So that's probably what our bracket's going to look like. Now, this is where the fun begins. Okay, we've got Dallas versus Winnipeg. I'm probably going to just take Dallas here. Unfortunately, I don't think Winnipeg can really well, not really unfortunately. I like them better, but I'm just in terms of people that like an upset. I don't really see it happening. Winnipeg, I think, will make the playoffs now based on Hellebuck and Scheifele signing. But while Hellebuck does have the opportunity to take them far, Dallas also has Ottinger. So if you're trying to use that goaltending argument, it doesn't really work. And the defense and forward group is just much better on the Stars. So I don't really see the Jets winning this one, but there could always be an upset. Now here, a lot of people are high on the Avs here, which is very fair, but they're not going to have Landeskog. Possibly, they might have him for the playoffs. I think if they do, they'll probably win that. If they don't, they might actually lose. I feel like the Wild could end up being decently strong team this year, but I'm not really sure I can argue that they're beating the Avalanche, so I'll probably have to go with the Avs. I kind of just faked myself out there. I thought I was going to go with the Wild. This one is definitely going to be a fun series, but you got to go with the defending champs here. I just don't think LA, well, they're a very good team, especially with that goaltending. They're just not going to hold up against Vegas here. Battle of Alberta will probably have the same result as it did 2 years ago, which is going to be the Oilers winning because the goaltending at this point is honestly better with the way Markstrom played last year. The defense is better on Calgary, but the forward group is much, much stronger on Edmonton, so we're going to have to go with the Oilers here. Next, we're moving on. This is another series that I think will probably go the same way it did last year with the Leafs winning. It's always tough to predict Toronto. You never know how they're going to play, but now that they've finally exercised those demons and made it past the first round once, they should probably, hopefully, do it again. Just see what they do. I'm going to go for something spicy here and say that the Sens actually make it past the Bruins, which I don't feel super confident with, but they're definitely building something there. Their forward core is much better. Like I don't even know what's going on with the Bruins center core there. Um, but the Senators have one of the best top sixes in the league. Their defense is getting sneaky good these days with Chikrin, Sanderson, and Shabbat. And the goaltending might be all right with Korpisalo, depending on how he plays. While I still think the goaltending and defense is overall better on Boston, I don't think it's much like that much better, and I think the forward group is quite a bit better for the Ottawa Senators. And then that sets up a Battle of Ontario in the second round, which I wasn't even thinking about, but that would be cool. This one, Shesterkin really could make this interesting, but I feel the Hurricanes are just loaded this year, and they'll probably end up being the ones that win this series. But this will be a really, really tough one and a really good one. Now, between the Devils and the Panthers, as much as I like Florida and they had that miracle run last year, I think the Devils' time is now, and their team is just so stacked on in pretty much every way. So honestly, I think that they're taking this one. We'll go back to the West here, where we have the Stars versus the Avs, which would be super fun series to watch. But I think it's the Stars' time to win it this time. Um, they still got, a ton of veterans like Pavelski, Sagan, Ben, who have actually been playing pretty well recently, and then they've got that top line or they've got Rupe Hintz, like Wyatt Johnston, Jason Robertson. I don't know why I might mention Wyatt Johnston before Jason Robertson, but that's what happened. They've got a lot of young players and a lot of pretty good older players. Ottinger should be great in net. They've got Hiskinen on the blue line. You've got to go with Dallas here. They look pretty scary this year. Now, a rematch in the second round between Edmonton and Vegas. Vegas does have a lot of injury problems, and I think Edmonton's quite a bit stronger this year. Of course, I am an Oilers fan, so it feels a bit biased, but I really think that the Oilers could do some damage this year. So we're gonna have to pick them against the Knights here. But that is probably a series that could easily go to 7 and is definitely going to be a dogfight. Now, this one, as much as I'd love to just throw Ottawa into the conference finals, I can't really say that that's going to happen. So we're going to have to go with the Leafs here. What? Where did they go? I don't know how this works. All right, here they go. The top end talent is still better on the as much as Stützle and Kachuk are getting quite good. You really can't say they're better than Matthews and Marner at this stage. While maybe they eventually might be, definitely not right now. Um, the defense is probably still a little better on Toronto, and the goaltending is you can't really judge that. While I do think this would be a very, very close series and a very, very fun series, Toronto's definitely going to be winning that one. Now this is where things get super interesting. I have no idea where I'm even going to go with this one because Carolina and the Devils are both incredible teams. It just seems like such a good year for Carolina, but for the Devils it does too. I mean, I think the absolute top end talent on the Devils is better with Jack Hughes. They've got a lot of youth coming in, but the goaltending is probably stronger on the Hurricanes when they're actually playing at the top of their game. Defense is definitely much better for the Canes, but we are trending towards more offense these days, and I'm not sure if the Hurricanes have as much firepower as the Devils, who also have pretty strong defense and goaltending. I'd like to go with this one's so tough. Like all of these have been, I mean, a lot of them have been pretty tough, but this one's really tough. I'm gonna say the Devils win that. It really might be their year. Going back to the West, we now have the Stars versus the Oilers. This is also super tough because, like I said, like teams that have like one of those top end players at each and every position, like the Stars do, like Jason Robertson, Heiskanen, and Ottinger. You've got one at like goaltender, one amazing defenseman, one amazing forward. But the Oilers definitely have a much stronger forward group. Well, I wouldn't say much stronger. Like I'm not like saying that as an insult to the Devils. It's just that like there's really no offense like Edmonton's. But the Stars is still very strong. The defense is definitely going to be better for the Stars here, but Edmonton's is pretty sneaky good now with Ekholm, Bouchard taking another step, and Nurse. It'll be interesting. The goaltending Andre obviously is going to be the one that's in the lead there, so the Stars take that category. So this makes it pretty tough to decide, but I think that top end talent in Edmonton might finally come through this year. So I'm going to predict them going to the finals. We'll see. We'll see. I certainly want that, but I do also believe in it too. We'll see if it happens. Now between the Leafs and the Devils, this one is crazy, but I think it's a little bit easier than the Devils versus the Canes, honestly. And I think what I'm gonna do is go with the Devils. Now this could really be a toss up. Like you never know with the Leafs. Like it could always be their year. They're in the same zone as how I feel about the Oilers, where I think these all four of I mean a lot of these more of these teams like let's go probably Dallas, Colorado, Vegas, Edmonton, Devils, Canes, and Leafs are all teams, even the Rangers you could throw in there, are all teams that I think are like they're all good enough to win the Stanley Cup if they can make it happen. You never know what's going to happen year to year, but like all those teams are not ones I'd be super surprised with winning. So this is just who you think is a little bit better or who you think might take it this given year. But I'd be not surprised if any of these teams do it. Like they're all teams that I think are capable of it, but who's actually gonna like get to that level and do it is that's why we play the games, as they say. Uh, so yeah, I think the Devils are just a little better than the Leafs. Like definitely, I think the defense is better. The goaltending is probably about equal. And the forward group on the Devils, while the top end talent might still be better on the Leafs with Matthews, Marner, Tavares, Nylander, let's not forget the Devils have Hughes, Heischer, Jesper Bratt, and Myers, so it's not that much worse. And I think the overall forward group is a bit stronger for the Devils here, which leads us to our Stanley Cup Finals of Edmonton versus New Jersey, which is definitely interesting. Now, you can make that argument that some teams just win immediately like as soon as it kind of clicks for them and they get it. But you could also say that other teams after having lost a couple years and like really building that, they know how to win. And Edmonton definitely has the more playoff experience here than New Jersey. So this one is definitely a tough choice, and I just removed them both. But who do we really think is the winner here? I'm gonna go with the team that has the best player in the world, which is the Edmonton Oilers and Connor McDavid. I really just think that it's probably could be their year. Like they're definitely pushing this year, and they're gonna be in that mix for it. I could just as easily see the Devils winning, or like I said, a lot of these teams, but I'm gonna go ahead and predict that the Oilers win the cup this year, which a lot of you guys can call biased because I'm an Oilers fan, but why not be biased? Why not believe in the team? Um, usually I'm actually harder on my own team because they're your team and you're like you've seen them. Like I've seen the type of failures that this team is able to commit like no other, okay? I This is the first time they've been good in basically my whole like lifetime of since I've watched hockey. So, yeah, it's tough to for a couple years it was tough to even understand, like comprehend to me that we were actually a good team. But I think we finally have reached this point where the Edmonton Oilers can be your 2024 Stanley Cup champions. Let me know what you guys think in the comment. Put your predictions down. I want to know. I want to know. Is the Devils? Do you think it's could be the Leafs even? Stars? I've heard a lot of people picking them. Canes could be very really scary this year. Maybe even the Senators. Maybe some team I don't have up here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I want to hear your cup picks. I want to hear if you agree with me. If not, tell me why I'm wrong. And if you like videos like this, or even some of the other stuff, you can check out my channel. There's a lot of variety on it. It's not just NHL videos, but yeah, if you like this and you want to subscribe, then I'll see you guys in the next one.